Hello and welcome to the state of Star Citizen Alpha 3.15. So Star Citizen Alpha 3.15 has had a 3.15.0 end patch. It's still on wave 1 of the PTU, the test servers, and we're keenly awaiting wider PTU and open PTU so more people can actually try that latest patch out very soon, hopefully. Let's take a look at the latest updates in that patch though. The law system has seen updates. Most crime stat 1s are now misdemeanors, which basically means that you can actually just pay off your crime stat 1 at a fine terminal, though stations will still shoot at you when you've got a crime stat of 1. Not paying off your crime at a terminal will escalate the fine, and the crime stat will be escalated after a week. They've also reduced the cooldown between crimes for assaults, so they will impact your crime stat more if they happen in succession, and they've greatly increased the crime stat contribution for all misdemeanors, so that fines are more important to pay off. There was a healing, griefing, and medical polish pass, which is very, very necessary in this patch. So disabling tractor beaming, healing, and drugging of players in green zones was the main thing they did here, so less griefing. So you don't have to worry about being mobbed at landing zones by players trying to overdose you on healing, helpful medical drugs, which people would then use to steal all of your gear. There's a drug efficacy balance update pass. They've updated and adjusted the effects of Resurgia to be equally more aggressive towards blood drug level decay and other drugs durations. They made some tweaks to body dragging to make it behave more consistent and less jittery, and made a load of other tweaks and fixes for moving bodies over ramps and elevators. The down state has had a polish pass, and the damned UI now clearly is visible while downed. They've increased revival service beacon rewards to 15k up from 10k credits. Also, bodies are less likely to disappear and fall through the world. Underground bunker missions and the new FPS missions there saw some updates and bug fixes. They made those missions shareable. They added a small reputation penalty for failing or abandoning a delivery, intro, or rehire mission. There are issues with friendly forces at underground missions still. After the mission has ended, they can become hostile to you, and often do. The base defenses sometimes attack you when you're coming to help, so that needs to be fixed ASAP to make those missions more viable. And obviously, they don't want you looting their friends' bodies, because they'll just go blah, 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 blah. It is worth noting as well that you can actually tractor beam dead bodies and then loot them back at a safer location outside an underground bunker on your ship or whatever. Store them all in your ship, although bodies do disappear after a certain amount of time. I think it's about half an hour at the moment. They made several AI sync improvements to help reduce them teleporting short distances. The 400i had a further polish pass with its landing gear reverting back to its previous slower state. Door panel updates, new UI, removing light buttons that weren't needed, and labeling locations. On all ships, the velocity indicator can now be turned off and on or faded. There were optimizations for planet terrain and ocean tessellation based on screen size. There has been an inventory polish pass as well. So they made style and performance tweaks that have all of the aspects of the sort of inventory system being updated here. They updated the filter system to display tabs showing quick item type sorting, along with the original option for more granular filtering. They implemented new interaction dots and numbered ports for consumables, magazines, grenades, medipens, that sort of stuff. They added capacity display for consumables on the item and as dots around the item ports the item is attached to. They added double click to equip items from inventory. This should swap currently equipped gear, and then consumables should fill empty armor slots instead. They added a swap option to the item menu so that you can basically remove the currently equipped item and replace it with another. They updated the inventory to not display if the inventory they have open moves far enough away. They've added capacity values to the description tooltip of items that have storage spaces such as backpacks and chest and leg armors. They've updated inventory page arrows to be a bit clearer, and added an interaction option to close world loot containers. So this has actually made the implementation of inventory significantly better than previous patches. It's less fiddly, much more responsive. It's got a load of the features that you sort of need to make it functional. It still needs a load of work. It's a big change from barely sort of being there and so unelegant and pretty rough to actually significantly better now. So I'm much happier with the inventory than I was when I was playing in the earlier PTU patches. There were a load of major bug fixes as well, server and client crashes, memory leaks and freezes. I'll highlight briefly some of the more important fixes here. You can place downed players on medical beds properly now. Ship spawning and claiming should be working better. Hospital props should spawn in the right places and not collide with things. The inventory UI has had a load of fixes, as has general medical gameplay. The medical tools should be functioning correctly, and player bodies should no longer instantly disappear in certain locations. Ships had tweaks to their elevators and HUDs that were broken. There appears to have been fixes for some bits causing lower frame rates at some landing zones. Alpha 3.15.0N has a really good frame rate for me. I've only briefly played it, and didn't have any 30Ks or instability issues. However, some people are saying it's the best patch ever with super high frame rates and stability, and others that I've seen are saying that it's constantly 30King for them, and they've been unable to play, pretty much. Hopefully, that will be everyone in the former camp before it goes live, but yeah, it looks to me like landing zones especially seem to have had a load of fixes and are a lot better. It's great that the medical overdosing at green zones has been fixed. They don't want that in-game. It was silly. It was dangerous for players, especially if you've got gear on you that you don't want to lose, because you lose it when you die. It was just griefy. The 400i, yeah, it's okay. I'm not going to be buying one. My Mercury Star Runner handles my multi-roll, and I have the Carrack for exploration and larger multi-roll. The 400i just isn't really a fit for me. We'll see once we have proper exploration in-game if it sort of comes into its own. The Hercules A2 is fun. Its bombs have some issues. They do some weird things at the moment. Like the actual props sort of spin around, and it doesn't land where I expect it to land. I mean, they don't have a huge amount of use yet either. I mean, it will help you blow up an outpost, I suppose, and take out the turrets there. But we need more use than that. And I feel that there's a lot of gun on the ship, but it's got a really huge price tag as well. I think last time it was on sale, it was $700, which will probably be going up when it's goes on sale again with 3.15, and yeah, it's just a ridiculous expensive ship. I haven't seen any server crash recovery in action yet. We are expecting that in 3.15. In fact, I don't think it's part of the current PT patch at all. I'm keenly awaiting it for it to drop in and then examples of it working, but it seems that it will basically snapshot your ship every so often and the cargo that you've got, and if the server crashes, it's going to allow you to spawn and a nearby station with your cargo intact. That, combined with hopefully less 30Ks, will put the game in a great state, especially for cargo haulers. Is iCache and Gen 12 renderer updates helping much in this patch? Maybe. It's kind of hard to quantify at this stage. However, the patch is really starting to shape up, and the medical rescue elements and potential cargo becoming sort of like much more viable in-game. That's got me reasonably hyped. I want to do that medical rescue gameplay. I want to be flying around in a Cutlass Red, or Cutlass Red and Cutlass Blue, me and Zin, just flying around and sort of rescuing people and helping them in dangerous situations. And with people doing loads of those underground bunker missions, maybe we're about to go and rescue them there. I hope we're going to see the live build of 3.15 at the end of October or very early November. It has seen a long patch cycle, and that's partly due to all the new stuff, both gameplay and server related. We are getting a full wipe with 3.15 when it goes live, so bear that in mind. You will be keeping all of your stuff that you've purchased through all money though, so don't worry about that, and all your sort of like promotional items and things like that you've collected on your account. But your Alpha UEC in-game and ships that you've bought in-game and all your FPS gear and stuff like that, that's getting wiped. And that should actually help a lot with a variety of bugs and potentially make stuff a bit snappier and quicker. Could the general delays that 3.15 have seen cause some knock-on delays to 3.16? Possibly, but there are separate teams working on that patch, so it should be largely unaffected, but we'll have to wait and see. But what do you think? Have you been playing in Alpha 3.15 on the PTU? Are you waiting for that PTU to go open or live for the 3.15 patch? Have you had your bugs fixed this update? Do you think 3.16 will see delays? Whatever your thoughts, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Some people say I shill for NordVPN, but listen to some of these comments that I just made up. I've never fed the love of a woman before, but then I got NordVPN, and that didn't matter. Doctor said I'd never walk again, but then I got NordVPN. Now I've been running marathons. Also, I got robot legs around the same time. They might have helped somewhat too. I was a tone-deaf pirate, but after getting NordVPN, I'm able to play the saxophone. Go on, Zin, try and animate all of this. Click the links below to get NordVPN. It might lead you to a more fulfilling life, but more likely, it will just help protect you from the terrors of the internet. What ship are we giving away in October? It is one of the most exciting ships we've given away and one of the most popular. It's the Argo Cargo. So many people liked it, we thought we'd give one away instead of a Mercury Star Runner or a Carrack or something else. You can do fun things like fly around a planet or fly very slowly into the sun. And it also makes my top 16 ships that I liked in the ship showdown this year. Me and Zin are sort of on holiday for a week, so we had to quickly film a ship giveaway, so we do have CitizenCon coming up, and we may have some other things going on the channel that will make it worth your while commenting, so do what you want. I'm not your dad. You should definitely press the join button below my videos, though, and you should certainly like and subscribe and bell bother. Click on the bell. I don't know what it does, but it makes me money somehow. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Thanks very much for watching, though, and I'll see you in the next one.